The Ethereum ETF is officially approved. What does this mean? Where to go from here? You'll see in this video. So without any further ado, let's go. Welcome back to another episode of Phil Prince, your one and only stop for crypto, finance and trading. Well, there we go. It is officially approved, the Ethereum spot ETF. Just 2 days ago, I've talked on this channel, Eric Balchunas and James Seyffert evaluating an ETF approval at 75% instead of the prior 25%. And now it has become a reality. And this here is the official document by the SEC. As you can see here, this is the order granting accelerated approval of proposed rule changes as modified by amendments thereto to list and trade shares of Ether-based exchange-traded products. What's important to remember is, and James Seyffert made this clear as well, this is just a 19B4 approval and the S1 documents are not there yet. This is going to take some time. He's expecting it to take a couple of weeks, but it could take longer as well. He also says typically this process takes months, like up to 5 months, but Eric Balchunas and him think it'll be at least somewhat accelerated. For the Bitcoin ETFs, it was at least 90 days, so 3 months. Now, if we have a look at Ethereum, we can see that basically nothing happened apart from crazy volatility, and this is because this candle has big wicks to the up and downside. So up to now, there is no big pump yet compared to this crazy pump where everyone heard about the 75% probability of an approval that should take place soon. So we're still at the top of the range. Nothing changed from this perspective. And actually in my videos 2 days ago, this is exactly what I anticipated. So if there's an approval, I think we will hold these levels. If there would have been a rejection, we would have likely reversed this whole move. Now the question is, can we break above our range high here, establish this as support and pump up from here in the coming months? So if you're a subscriber for some time now, you know that my base case is still a continuation of this range for the next couple of months, maybe till July or August. Also, if we have a look at Bitcoin, you can see that after this ETF anticipation pump, we had a complete reversal to the mid-range from the top range. So even if we're starting to pump here, Bitcoin would be just, again, at the top range. So no clear breakout. And at this very moment, this, for me, increases the likelihood for a continuation of the range. But we shouldn't forget that in anticipation of the Bitcoin ETF, we've seen a bigger rally. So the Bitcoin ETFs launched here on January 11th. But it was pretty interesting, the 19.4B approvals took place just a week before that, on January 5th. And this whole rally here was in anticipation of both of these events. Now, the difference here is we've got the approval now for the Ethereum ETF, and the launch is basically set in stone 99.9%. So there is no surprise now, which means that likely this is now priced in. And apart from that, as all of this action happened within just 2 to 3 days, there is no anticipation rally that could happen. Therefore, once again, my base case is that we stay within this range. Now, if the ETFs should launch in a couple of weeks' time, then I think we will get a little bit of a sell the news event after that, similar to here after the Bitcoin ETF. And then when we start to get inflows, this should let us break out of this range. By the way, it's actually crazy to think about. My very first video on this channel was about the Bitcoin spot ETF. And now I'm talking already about the approval of the Ethereum spot ETF. Now, to make it really clear, whenever we should get above this range here, this will be a crazy party, especially for altcoins. As I said in my last Ethereum ETF video, I think that the Ethereum spot ETF is even more important for altcoins than the Bitcoin spot ETF, and more or less could be the catalyst for our crazy alt season. One more thing that James Seyffert pointed out, and that he calls the most intriguing part of the filing, is that it was issued via delegated authority, which means there won't be public commissioner votes to say. And for him, that poses the question if any commissioner can technically challenge and ask for a review or vote. But it also makes clear that asking for a review wouldn't change anything about the decision. they're approved for sure. But nevertheless, if someone tries to challenge this filing here, then I think this might set us up for market volatility. Also, I think if we should break out here in the next 1 or 2 weeks and see a bigger rally to like $100,000 in Bitcoin, and of course also altcoins popping off like popcorn, then I have to say, I think that this will lead to a bigger sell-off, maybe when the ETF is launched, for example, back into this range later on. This would actually still be pretty much typical summer price action for Bitcoin based on the last 10 years. I've talked about this multiple times because this here is still a sideways range. Also, a sell-off from 100K down back into this range would scare the shit out of most market participants. And I actually think if we see something like this, this will build the base for the final leg way into 2025, and therefore would mean that this bull cycle is not ending prematurely at the end of this year, which of course is one of the possibilities, for example, based on rate cuts and other stuff. I've talked about this as well. So indeed, very, very interesting times to be in crypto right now. We have to look at the possible outcomes here and adapt accordingly as soon as they take place and develop. Because if you've just seen it from one day to the other, the Ethereum ETF went from impossible that we will see it in the next years to officially approved 3 or 4 days later. That is crypto how we know and love it. Join the discussion in my Telegram group, link is down below. This will also get you access to one of my indicators and a free 1-hour trading course that explains how to build your own strategy. Join while it's still free, this may change for new members in the future. If you haven't subscribed yet, please ask yourself why and do it now. You really don't want to miss any of the next videos. As always, this was not financial advice. This was Phil Prince for you. Until next time, crush the markets. Goodbye.